Hi, I'm Jackson Smith, and my interview partner was Jonathan Gomes. John is a dancer, and he says his parents aren't really big dancers, but dance is still an integral part of his life. He doesn't really talk much about dance with his parents, but they do dance basic dances. His dad is from Africa, and he doesn't really know if it plays a part or if it played a part in his father's life during his time in Africa, but he know it does. It did in his aunt's lives. But in his life, it's a therapeutic part of his life. He started when he was 5 years old, and it just came naturally to him. He didn't have the opportunity to do team or study a dance. He was self-taught by watching videos like the Cheetah Girls and High School Musical. He doesn't think he'd be the same John if he didn't dance. The way he started out dancing was he was self-taught at 5. He started, like I said earlier, because of the Cheetah Girls. Hip-hop was his primary form of dance, and in 2014, he got his first opportunity at a team, a hip-hop dance team, and that was his first time to ever have an official lesson. He learned more about his dance skills on that team, and he knows Vogue and Whacking, and those are his personal favorites. He also learned from watching Disney shows like Camp Rock, High School Musical, and the Cheetah Girls. He was a cheerleader and also did cheer dance in high school. In college, though, he has studied ballet, modern capoeira, swing, belly dancing, musical theater, hip hop, and improv dance. He dances everywhere, mainly in his room when he learns, but he also dances at work, at school, at church. He dances when he's driving. He says he has to be constantly moving. He dances alone most of the time. He doesn't really want to worry about the other person knowing what they're doing, unless he really has to. It's a way to express himself without talking. He's not afraid as a gay man to dance femininely. He says he feels free to dance seductively and sexy if he feels like it. But he can also dance aggressive and grungy like a man. It just depends on his mood. His nationality is American. He belongs to white, Hispanic, and Hispanic ethnic groups. He's Portuguese. He's half Cape Verdean, which is a country from Africa. And dance plays a big identity in all of those cultures, especially in Africa because of the religion and the slave trade. But in his words, Hispanics are always down to party. He was raised in South Texas, in the Valley area, so Tejano and country music were really what he was exposed to at a very young age. American and Western culture was the lens he tended to look at the dance through. But dance, he says, is the heart of every culture. You should always do it. It's generation to generation. It's just a dynamic thing. The main form of dance he studied before is Indian dance. The third Cheetah Girls movie was in India, and after that movie, he was obsessed with Indian culture. Every movement in India has meaning, like the Bharatanatyam. Sorry if I butchered that. All represents a story. For example, in Bollywood dance. He also enjoys hip-hop Kathak, and he learned more about Indian culture through this. He did his own research, and he always says there's more out there than you originally know. Dances other than our own, meaning American culture, are fascinating and interesting, and he just has a wealth and a desire to learn. He's not opposed to any form of dance, and he's not opposed to giving anything a try, and he's not going to disrespect an instructor by not participating in a dance because of his opinion on it. He likes to dance the most by himself. He's not opposed to dancing with a partner if he has to, but on his own, he can freestyle. He likes to move and take up every inch of space. For choreography, though, you have to stay in a certain area, and you have a bubble because you're working with other team members. And he likes moving his hands and arms a lot, although which body part he likes to move depends on the form of the dance. He does a lot of intricate hand and finger movements. He likes to whip his hair around or use hairography. He feels like that adds more to the dance. And he also likes to move his hips, especially when dancing sexually. He likes to body roll. He uses every part of his body and is more focused on the upper body than lower when learning. And he likes it when the music builds up to a bass drop or high notes or upbeat energy, booms, bass drops, crescendos, just a wealth of energy. He likes, that's when he enjoys the music most. He loves it when he gets chills from learning and performing and watching the audience's reactions and hearing their applause. When he gets the move down that he's been working on forever, he says it's the best feeling. And this is actually right now it's actually his first time choreographing. And he's playing with the energy in his surroundings, and he holds back energy, but he also knows when to let it go. Controlling energy is a big form in his dance that he likes to do. His favorite dances to do are mainly, as I said before, hip-hop, pop. He likes EDM music. That's one of his favorites. And he's motivated by how he feels. He tends to overthink things in life, but when he dances, pure emotion just comes out. He dances in whatever mood he's in, and he dances through that mood. These dances stem from what he knows in dance, from people he's met, dances he's seen, things he's learned, and all of this affects his knowledge system. When there's someone who is interested in the same thing as you are, he says, it can connect and really relate your knowledge to, or it can connect and really relate to your knowledge system as a person. In his opinion, religion plays a part in putting taboos on forms of dance. He doesn't like how in some religions, dance is viewed as sinful. He says there are a time and a place for some of the more risque dances like twerking and grinding and all that. And some people think that because you're a dancer, you show off and you're cocky if you go out dancing, which he says is not true at all. In other cultures, it's looked down upon to have that cocky personality, and it's a very uncommon or a misinterpreted stereotype. And upon me asking him who would he style his dance after most, and what type of style does he really relate to, and he says as part of the LGBTQ community, he's not afraid to go on the feminine side of dancing, and his dance style is mainly freestyle and improv, but he is good at picking up choreography, but freestyling to him is just much more fun and liberating. And he says that if he had to pick one person that he says his dance is most related to, it would be Lady Gaga's style of dance. And he says he would encourage his kids to dance. He would open them up to the experience, but he wouldn't force them into it. He would want them to shine in areas that they're good at and that they feel called to. But he does want his children to know that dance is something fun, whether they think they're good at it or not. Because, again, in his words, if the Macarena comes on, they're going to be doing it. And in his opinion, he said, upon me asking him, what dance do you feel is the least dance-like? He said actually country dancing, because there isn't really much to it in his opinion. He thinks it's boring. It only has 1, 2, or 3 steps. And he says he's seen energized and slow country dances, and they're the same movements, and they look exactly the same. Line dancing as well is is another dance that he believes isn't really much of a dance. It's repeated steps. It's not very complex, and he knows how to do it. He says it just doesn't interest him. And he feels like ballet is definitely the most technical dance and the dance that is hardest to master. And ballet is one of those dances that no one can perfect, because there's always one more thing. There's always so much training involved, and there's so many different styles, and you will lose your technique if you don't constantly train. There's always something more to learn, and it's not supposed to be easy. If it's easy, you're doing it wrong. So to recap, in his opinion, ballet is the most technical and the hardest dance to perfect, which I completely agree with. So that concludes my introduction of Mr. Jonathan Gomes, and my name is Jackson Smith, and I hope you enjoy the presentation. Thank you.